This conference will now be recorded.
It seems there is no winter in Pune and in Chennai.
Yeah.
It is only
So
in
we are live for the
Bhopal.
World Cup. Welcome to Dr. TSPR show. This is Dr. Tangella Shiva Prasad Reddy alias Dr. TSPR. Namaste, Adab, hello. Believe me, this is a coincidence, but let me put it across to you. I am sitting in Deccan Plateau, Hyderabad, the Deccan, and we have guests, wonderful guests from Madhya Bharat, Bhopal, Western India, Pune, and the extreme south, Chennai. Doing what? Cautioning Hastinapur, North Delhi, because the natural resources are being looted. I have no this thing to confirmatively reconfirm it, because natural resource belongs to every citizen of this country. Every citizen is a constitutional authority. India being a republican state, unlike other countries, we the constitutional authorities form a constitutional democracy, unlike other countries where people are, in democracy. But here we constitute. That means the constitutional authority is every citizen. In that case, the natural resources, right from water to the top above, everything belongs to us, every citizen. And if you are utilizing it, it should be in larger public interest. It should serve every citizen's interest. Is it doing so? All these so-called famed laws, policies, whether it is UPA, NDA, or for that matter, any other government. As we have seen during this corona pandemic, all political parties have become one, mysteriously. That is what we have been exposing through cryptocurrency. How the foreign donations into political parties, right from 1974-75, you cannot source it. All these political parties unfortunately became one. They passed the legislation, lawmakers protecting the ill-gotten money which goes away from India, and the promise of NDA 15 lakhs into every account, finished black money. But they have finished the authority of every citizen to know from which source a political party or a politician is being funded. They have finished it off once for all. Not only that, even the electoral bonds in India, very opaque. You will not get any information, believe me. Why I am trying to put all these things is, it is the natural resource, our right, but it is being judiciously, whether it is mined or whatever you call, not in larger public interest, in favor of some 1% of these business corporates who are funding these political parties. That is the reason why the political parties funding has become very opaque. They will take away all our natural resources away from India. When it comes, you can't even account for it. That's nonsense. Are we living in a democracy or autocracy? What is this? ये तो हमको समझ में नहीं आता, हमारे ज्ञान में नहीं है. हम सब संविधान है, फिर भी जो धरती से लेके हवा तक जो हमारा हक है, लेकिन चंद लोगों ने इसके ऊपर एक अपना हड्डा बनाया और इसको लेके बाहर जाते हैं और बाहर से यही राजनीतिक दल को पैसे आता है, लेकिन अब कुछ भी नहीं, क्योंकि सब राजनीतिक दल मिलके एक कानून बनाया हमारे प्रजा के खिलाफ, संविधान के खिलाफ। इसीलिए आज का जो टॉपिक है ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। लिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर्स जो ने बनाया है, लिंकिंग ऑफ रिवर्स का मतलब, मैं दक्कन प्लाटें से हूं, कृष्णा बेसिन में मेरा जन्म हुआ। जब कृष्णा बेसिन में सर्वाधिकार मेरे को जो पानी मिलनी चाहिए पहले, वो पानी को बाहर लगा के ये जो बाढ़ की पानी की बात करते हैं, असल ने छोड़ दिया और बाढ़ की बात करते हैं। और क्या करते हैं, गोदावरी बेसिन से पानी लाके यहाँ पर लिंक करने की एक बड़ी साजिश। They don't want me to utilize my judiciously allotted Krishna basin water. They will kill every spirit because they give it away to other state because of their contractors who are in Kaleshwaram project on Godavari river. So from Godavari basin they want to link. Why the hell you should link, and why the hell people be deprived, Godavari people, of that water? In case if there is any famine, drought, it's fine. But lot of plenty of water in the Krishna basin. I'm just giving you an example, but I'm not being allowed to judiciously utilized. That is what we have made a story also. Why should you link rivers when that basin people are not judiciously utilizing their allotted share of waters? Then you count flood water. Same thing is happening in this Bundelkhand river too. Unfortunately, the river is drying out. These people want to construct dams. Why? You have seen, no, Delhi to Mumbai speed train through the forest, take away all the minerals, loot all the minerals. Iska baap ka jagir hai kya ye? The same way, now they are going to do away with this. Such a beautiful area, Bundelkhand, in the name of linking and sucking our natural resources. Do we need that now in Corona pandemic? People lost livelihoods because of mismanagement, because of imposition of Corona mandates. They needed succor. Children needed quality education. Who the hell asked you to link all that? Did we ask you? There is no discussion on the floor of parliament nor assemblies. Simply impose. This has been going on since 7 to 8 years. But let me first introduce the honorable guests. An IFS officer of 1980 batch from Bhopal, Mr. Manoj Mishra Yamuna. He left the service in 2001. Since 2007, he is the convener Yamuna GA Abhiyan and is also member Water Conflict Forum and India Rivers Forum. Sir, my hearty welcome to this special show.
Thank you.
And we have the main gentleman, my good friend Joy KJ, who has been instrumental in a progressive approach for these live shows, because we are not going to stop with this. If the need be, daily I will do a show, because water so precious, every mineral so precious, air so precious, it belongs to all of us. We will not leave you like that. He is from Pune and he is also incidentally comes from the same Water Conflict Forum, India Rivers Forum, and he has got another Vikalpa Sangam, and he is also SOPECOM member. The full, I don't want to expand that. I'll leave it to Mr. Joy. Similarly, we have got Professor Janaki Rajan, retired from Madras Institute, some university there, but he is president Saki Waters, South Asia Consortium Interdisciplinary Water Resources Studies, apart from being the member of the aforesaid committees. They're all very experienced, very clean. They are, that is why I could not mention the names either in the poster or in the write-up, because we said they are above all this. They have been doing human service to protect our rights. If you loot everything away now, what will be there for our kith and kin, our offsprings? Are we the last ones on this earth? Bloody nonsense. हमारी आखिरी ये है क्या, ये धरती पर हमारे बच्चे, उनके बाल बच्चे, उनके लिए हम कुछ नहीं छोड़ना चाहते क्या? सब लूटो। इसीलिए आज का ये शो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। सर, वेलकम सर। फर्स्ट आई विल स्टार्ट विथ यू and I'll give you all the details from NABARD, how the commercial banks have formed an organization, which when I was just going through this, 7 years back itself, all this thing started. And during pandemic, all of a sudden, the subcommittee comes out. I'll just present everything. Before that, a brief introduction from Mr. Manoj Mishra ji. Yes, sir.
You see, any project that we implement anywhere, the first requirement is that it should be legal from all angles. And if there is any doubt about its legality, then that should be first cleared. And only then there should be any effort on its implementation, because that is what the rule of law is. Now, currently, the project which is called as Betwa link, which involves a high dam, a 77-meter high, almost 2 kilometer long, with a 90 square kilometer reservoir, that is illegally planned inside Panna Tiger Reserve. Because, why I say illegally? Because it is in violation of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, Section 29 and Section 35(6) of Wildlife Protection Act are being violated by this project. And because of this violation, the approval of the Standing Committee of National Board of Wildlife to this project has been challenged at the Honorable Supreme Court. Supreme Court has a standing body called as Central Empowered Committee. Now, the Central Empowered Committee has gone into the merit of this case. It has made a site visit, and on 30th August 2019, it has submitted its report to the Honorable Supreme Court. And the Honorable Supreme Court is still to adjudicate on this matter. So, such a project, which is under challenge at the Supreme Court, then the environmental clearance given to this project is also under challenge at the National Green Tribunal. Because initially, the environmental clearance to this project was denied, and it was only later on that it was given, and it was challenged. That challenge at the NGT is also currently pending. The third thing, which is the forest clearance to this project. Forest clearance normally has two stages, stage 1 and stage 2. The stage, after the stage 1 clearance, the conditions which were levied, they are still to be met. So the forest clearance to this project is also pending. So when all these clearances, so-called clearances, are under dispute or in pendency, how can there be a political decision at the level of Honorable Prime Minister in the Cabinet Committee to go ahead with such a project, its implementation? So much so that a SPV has been also been created for its implementation. Now, our understanding is, and based on this understanding, almost 106 people from different parts of the country wrote a letter to Honorable Prime Minister saying that it appears that your cabinet committee has been kept in the dark. You have not been informed. You have not been fully informed of the pendency of all these clearances and the illegality involved with this project. Since the Honorable Supreme Court is still adjudicating it, the Honorable Prime Minister has not been informed about it because we know our Prime Minister is a Democrat. He would not do anything against the law of the land because obviously we are in a country where law is supreme. So if the Honorable Prime Minister had been informed that there are illegalities involved in the wildlife clearance given to it, and other clearances are under challenge or incomplete, the Honorable Prime Minister and the Cabinet Committee would never have given permission to go ahead, which would actually be a death knell to Project Tiger, Panna Project Tiger. Because this project planned in the core zone of Panna Tiger Reserve will bifurcate the reserve. It will take away the most critical tiger habitat and put it under reservoir for all times. So the future of tiger in Panna Tiger Reserve, where tiger have been revived, their population has been revived after almost a decade of very sincere efforts by different people. Again, that entire reserve its future would be in a jeopardy. So, certainly, Honorable Prime Minister would never take such a decision. And so, we through your program, we appeal to Honorable Prime Minister, we appeal to Honorable Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh and Honorable Chief Minister of UP to please revisit the illegalities involved in this project. And this allocation, whatever has been done this year in the budget, that allocation should be kept suspended until unless whatever lack of whatever illegalities involved in this project have been addressed properly. So this project at this point of time, as per our understanding, is not in a stage where it can be implemented legally. And that is why we say it is recipe for ecological disaster, because it is going to impact adversely Project Tiger Panna for all times to come. Yeah.
Yes,
I
sir,
can come again to tell you about
the tweet of Narendra Modi ji. Yeah, you please go ahead. I'm showing the tweet of Narendra Modi ji and the CPC report from Supreme Court. I'm just trying to display to the world, not only India, because tiger is tiger. Bagh hai ye hamara shaan.
Because the Central Empowered Committee has in so many words said that this project, one is this project has not been found to be in the interest of wildlife of Panna Tiger Reserve. So it is, in so many words, the Central Empowered Committee has informed the Supreme Court.
Yeah, this is on the screen, sir.
Is in violation of the section 35(6). Also because downstream of the planned dam, there is a sanctuary called as Cane Ghadial Sanctuary. Now, the impact of this project on Cane Ghadial Sanctuary has never been studied. Again, the Central Empowered Committee has said this in so many words. So, this fact violates Section 29 of Wildlife Protection Act. So, when two important critical, because these two sections are the real heart of the entire act. If you wish, I can read from the Wildlife Protection Act. I have the
Please, sir.
Wildlife Protection Act with me, and I would like to read from the Wildlife Protection Act just for your information what it says. It says, Section 35, 6. No person shall destroy, exploit, or remove any wildlife, including forest produce from a national park, or destroy or damage or divert the habitat of any wild animal by any act whatsoever, or, this is most important, or divert, stop, or enhance the flow of water into or outside the national park, except without a prior permit given by the state government, by the Chief Wildlife Warden, in consultation with National Board of Wildlife, but such a permit can be given only if such removal of wildlife or the change in flow of water into an outside or national park is found to be necessary for the improvement and better management of wildlife therein. Now, the Central Empowered Committee has in so many words said that this project has not found to be necessary for the improvement and better management of wildlife in Panna Tiger Reserve. So, how can such a project be permitted to go ahead? And the same lines are there in Section 29 of Wildlife Protection Act. So, let me repeat myself. A project, good or bad, with merit or with demerit, can only go ahead if it is ipso facto legal. If it is not legal, how can a project go ahead? And as I mentioned, our Honorable Prime Minister has been misled by whoever on these two important facts.
Wonderful. I'm just trying to present your 2020 Article 2, which is on the screen. Very visibly, very clearly, you have mentioned all this. You mentioned all these things, what you have been speaking now. But mysteriously, I am told this Agricultural Finance Corporation Limited, wholly owned by commercial banks and was part of NABARD before. I'm told this is the organization which sought clearances for this project. How can?
Yeah, they carried out the environmental impact assessment study, which was found to be rubbish, which had so many mistakes that that the environmental clearance based on that was rejected. It was rejected at the first place. And later on, they came back again to the new EAC, Environmental Assessment Committee, and then that was given. So there has been serious problems with this project. Now, you see, we are not talking here of the merit of the Cane-Betwa link per se, although we have strong reservations on that as well. And if there is time permitting, we will talk about that. But we want to emphasize, and this is something which has been ignored by media, even by civil society, by politicians. You see, when this project was mentioned in the budget, the MPs should have said, how can you provide money to an illegal project? Unfortunately, no member of parliament, except perhaps Jairam Ramesh, who tweeted about it, no member of parliament is raising this thing about the illegality of the whole project. पहले इसको legal तो करिए, then think of implementing it, and then let us come on merit. Because as far as our knowledge goes, जिस पानी की ये बात कर रहे हैं केन नदी में, वो पानी उस नदी में है ही नहीं.
Ridiculous.
एक छोटी नदी के पास एक बड़ी नदी को देने के लिए सरप्लस पानी कहां से आ सकता है? Tell me. This question has never been answered by anyone.
Can you again come out clear, sir? Can you come out clear again? Choti Nadi ke paas, kyunki I'm just putting on your screen. Ministry of Jal Shakti notification 9th February 2022. Constitution of Steering Committee, SC and Ken Betwa Link Project Authority Steering Committee, so and so, so and so. Consequent upon approval of implementation of the Ken Betwa Link project as a national project under National Perspective Plan as a joint project of Government of India and the State Government of Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh based on the tripartite memorandum of agreement signed on 22/3/2021. Kindly understand, when the entire country is going through the pandemic, हम पूरे महामारी कोरोना महामारी के उसमें गूंज रहे थे, लेकिन 2021 में मार्च महीने 22 तारीख को ये लोग ने एक कमिटी फॉर्म की. अब देखिए, ये लोग ये कमिटी फॉर्म करते हैं जब पार्लियामेंट अभी चर्चा में है, पार्लियामेंट है, अभी बजट सेशन की पार्लियामेंट है. इस समय इंप्लीमेंटेशन कमिटी की तीनों ट्राइपार्टाइट एग्रीमेंट का एक लिंक का ये कॉन्स्टिट्यूट भी करते. अब देखिए, महामारी के तहत हम यहाँ परेशानी में है और वहां पर चुनाव है, यहाँ रोजगारी खत्म हो गई, बच्चे बेघर, रोज घरों से उनकी पढ़ाई चली गई. ऐसे समय में ये नेशनल प्रोजेक्ट, क्योंकि हम इसीलिए चाहते हैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट, ये देश का, मैं भी एक नागरिक हूं, मेरे टैक्सेस जिससे ये सरकार चलती है, केंद्र और राष्ट्र, और जब ये नेशनल प्रोजेक्ट बनता है ये मेरे पैसे भी उसमें शामिल है. इसीलिए मेरा हक बनता है कि मैं आपसे पूछताछ करूं. आपका एम्पावर्ड कमेटी का रिपोर्ट क्या है? ये रिपोर्ट ये लोग अगर नजरअंदाज किए तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट सुओ मोटो ये लेना है या नहीं? When the Supreme Court, that powered committee has given some report, if this notification is against such report based on the ground realities, should Supreme Court take it suo moto or not? And you have declared this as a national project, a tripartite project between the center, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. And when you say it's a national project, as a citizen of this country, it is my right, because it is my paid money, taxes through which central and state governments run. Now I am demanding, where is the necessity when people are suffering, lost their lives, lost their fortune? Parliament doesn't discuss that. All of a sudden, cryptocurrency, that is again hidden agenda, again linking of rivers, without any proper discussion involving people at the lowest level, from Gram Panchayat to assembly, from assembly should to parliament. These things should come in a people participatory constitutional democracy. हम वही बोलते हैं ना, ग्राम सचिवालय, क्या वहां से कुछ निर्णय हुआ, लोगों को जानकारी है? इस तरह ऊपर से ठोकना, ये क्या है? Why are you imposing your will? Why does parliament doesn't discuss when it is against rule of law of land, against the committee report, and against all the ground realities, and against the fundamental aspect that there is no proper water or water storage there in that small river? And not only that, it is destroying the tiger reserves and so many other biodiversity. Honorable Prime Minister tweets on the Tiger Day, and now this committee is going against that What will you say, Honorable Prime Minister Modiji? What will Parliament say? Why no political party speaking about that? I've told you how political parties have become one in getting funding from NRIs and in seeing to that even from Indian corporates, if they are funding political parties, we cannot ask. Same thing is it going on here? If such is the case, log jagiye. Yes, sir, please go ahead.
So you see, the basin size of River Kane is smaller than the basin size of River Betwa. So how can River Kane have surplus water to give to Betwa, which is a bigger river?
Very shame.
This is one. This is one question which has never been.
I just want to supplement what Manoj was saying, because a couple of years back there was a study by a PhD student from IIT Mumbai, exactly the same thing what she was saying that Kane, which is supposed to be the donor basin, and Betwa, which is the recipient basin. So the donor basin itself doesn't have water to give to this. It is this. So it has been also done through academic work. So what are we talking about, this whole linking of Kane with Betwa and things? So it's in a way absurd, even from a hydrological perspective. Yeah. Go ahead, Manoj.
Then
it is shaming the nation. It is shaming the nation. Shame. How can a small river without any water, I mean, in such Kane River, can really become a sourcing point for a bigger river like Betwa? Even hydrological studies. How can these secretaries be so insane? Yes, sir. Please go ahead, Mishraji.
Then you see, the hydrology of River Kane has never been firmly established because whatever studies were done, each of them came with different figures. So about 4 or 5 we know which have different figures, and what they have done is taken the highest figure. Now there is already a barrage on River Kane, created long back, at a place called as Baryarpur. Now that barrage, when it was created, it was supposed to irrigate about 220,000 hectares of land. That was the command area of that barrage when it was constructed. The fact is that till date, the maximum irrigation that this barrage has been able to do is only 88,000 hectares.
Sure.
Against 220,000 hectares, because there is no water. It was, you see, it was these projects, when they are created, they are always hyped. The benefits are always exaggerated. In this case, in Baryarpur, against 220,000 hectares, normally only 66,000 hectares is irrigated every year. It was only in 94-95 that 88,000 hectares was irrigated, which was a good rainfall year. So from where, that means Kane doesn't have water. Because if Kane had water, then why not 220,000 hectare irrigation with an existing project? So now when they are saying there will be irrigation of 10 lakh hectares, obviously it is all hyped figures. These are figures which are hyped just to keep people in some kind of a dream phase. At the end of the day, when this project actually happens, God forbid, say about 15-20 years down the road, do you know what is the cost of this project today? It's 44,600 crores. 44,600 crores. And by the time it is over, say about 10-15 years down the road, it will cross 1 lakh crores.
What?
This money for whom? This project for whom? At what cost? Destruction of an existing project tiger. Destruction of an existing river, whatever it is. River Cane, let me tell you, is still the most pristine river in the country. Its water, you can easily go and drink it. It is very few rivers like this are left in the country, and you want to even destroy this. And who is going to benefit from this project? Not Bundelkhand. They are saying it is for Bundelkhand. No, it is a substitution project. Substitution project means water will be taken from Cane, put into Betwa, because they want to create structures on river Betwa in its upper basin, which is not Bundelkhand, which is Raisen and Vidisha. So to create dams in Raisen and Vidisha, they want to kill river Cane in the name of Bundelkhand. Vidisha and Raisen is not in Bundelkhand. So the benefit will go to Vidisha and Raisen. But
if water is there.
It is for Bundelkhand.
If water is there.
Yeah, if water is there. So this project has several question marks, very serious question marks. Now, you see, we are not basically anti any good project.
Yes,
But,
we should not be. We should not.
But firstly, the project should be legal. Secondly, the project should give the benefits to whom you are actually saying they are going to be the beneficiary. But this project is not. This project will actually take away the water of Bundelkhand to upper Betwa region, which is Raisen and Vidisha. So this is, and these facts are never spoken. These facts are never spoken. Whereas these facts are known. These facts are never spoken by media. These facts are never spoken by member of parliament. These facts are even not spoken by the civil society. Unfortunately, everybody is saying Cane Betwa link is for Bundelkhand. For God's sake, Cane Betwa link is not for Bundelkhand. It is for the, actually it will harm Bundelkhand by destroying its wonderful tiger reserve, Panna Tiger Reserve, by destroying its remaining pristine river, which is River Cane. Now, they say, we will give drinking water from the canal. That canal, that 220-kilometer canal from Cane to Betwa is not for irrigation, firstly. It is only to transfer water. Now, when there was so much criticism, then they came up. It was the afterthought. Oh yes, we will give some drinking water. And they put in the PIB release, 62 lakh people will get drinking water. Now, who are these 62 lakh people? Let me explain this.
Yeah, please.
The provision is that from the canal, villages on within 1 kilometer of either side, just 1 kilometer of either side of the canal might get some drinking water. Now, 1 kilometer from the canal is not Bundelkhand. Bundelkhand is much bigger than it. But rather than spend 44,600 crore in a project which may ultimately fail to give the benefit, and ultimately which may actually spend 1 lakh crore, there are much faster, much environmentally safer alternatives available. There are, during the Chandelas and the Bundelas period in Bundelkhand, thousands of tanks were created. And majority of those tanks are today in disuse. Against 44,000 crore, if they were to spend only 2-3,000 crore in restoration of these tanks, Bundelkhand will become water surplus. This is what is at stake.
Yeah.
See, whenever
Commercial
you have a project,
Yeah.
whenever you have a project, you should also look for the alternative. That is provided in EIA. That every project which is planned, if there is a better alternative existing, why not we go for that? Here, there is a better alternative already existing. People are already, they have their farm ponds in Bundelkhand and they are water sufficient. So it is only a matter of upscaling. It is only a matter of upscaling the existing technology already in place in Bundelkhand. So the government must invest there, not in a project which ultimately down the road in 15-20 years might actually prove to be a failure, which may leave behind non-performing assets in form of that huge dam and a destroyed river and a destroyed project title.
So that is so. In fact, just to supplement what Manoj is saying, this area is receiving something close to 1100 millimeter average rainfall in a year. That is quite a bit of rain. That's quite a bit of local water which is available. And experience over the last 30-40 years in the country, you look at any drought prone region where the local rainfall is to the tune of 350, 400 or 500 millimeter, they have been able to manage their water security, water needs by properly harvesting, prioritizing that water. So we have, and this has been created by us. So why don't we learn from these things? So why don't we start from a bottom-up approach? Do this. Do a water balance study of the micro watersheds and type of thing. Make your how much of the water which can be harvested at that scale. What are your needs? Try to meet the whatever we can get and what is the demand. Then make a case. None of this process has been done in the case of Kane Betwa and any of the renewable linking. So I think we need to relook at critically how we do, our basic planning, all that. I think Kane Betwa is a test case for that. So that's why many of us, I mean, as Manoj said, it is one is an illegal project because it does not run through all the legal provisions. Second, there is also a huge question mark about its feasibility in terms of water availability, in terms of financial this, and also there's a clear case of better alternatives, which is cheaper, faster, environment friendly, socially friendly type of thing. So why do we go for this? That's the question many of us are asking.
Wonderful. Yeah, Mishraji.
So we again request the Honorable Prime Minister through your channel that please get this entire project reviewed by an independent expert committee. Don't go by what we are saying. Please don't go by what we are saying.
Yeah.
Form an independent expert body of experts which should review this entire project in a transparent, consultative, participatory manner. We would also like to go before that committee and make a presentation. Let others who are in favor of the project, let them also go and make a presentation.
Yes.
And then, whatever that committee decides, whatever the Honorable Supreme Court of India decides as far as the legality of the project is concerned, that will be
acceptable.
That will be most.
See, in a democracy, we should discuss, debate, and decide. That is the democracy.
Exactly.
And in fact, this is the most opportune time to do this review because we have not made any investment yet. We have only made some allocation. So unless we lose this chance and we say we have already made investment, then there is no going back often. So this is the best time for the government, the Prime Minister to intervene, take a review, as Manoj very well articulated, and then take an informed decision. That's what you would say. So the timing is very important.
Yeah, that's what, because the parliament is in session, the financial bill is yet to be approved. Now, this is the right time. I hope Honorable Prime Minister will take cognizance of all the facts which we are presenting. Every fact we have put in on record here now. The committee report and elaborately listing why the Ken, a smallest river, you are trying to link with Betwa, which is a big river. Ken doesn't have that much of river. Already the barrages which have been constructed on Ken, they are not up to 2 lakh hectares. It's full capacity, harvesting, which it is supposed to do. It has not done. Only peak level, it was in 94, 95, it went up to 88,000 hectares. Otherwise, it is only 66,000 hectares. Then how is that you are planning for 10 lakh hectares? There is something called corruption. Honorable Prime Minister, these people should be put to naught. All those officials should be grilled in a transparent and accountable way. As he rightly said, all those who are for the project, let them understand that under Ken, first you take Ken, please. I will invite them to debate on Dr. TSPR channel, because this can connect from wherever you are. You need not come to the studio. I need not come send you any camera. I leave my mobile number also. It is there on the flyer. Again, if you want, 944046539. Let me again confirm it, 944046539. So that you'll come back. We have all these gentlemen who are ready to discuss, debate, and decide in larger public interest, because 44,000 crores down the line, by the time the project is completed, it will be more than 1 lakh crores. That is our money, public money. If the money which is being invested is for the betterment of the existing facilities, no problem. For better life, no problem. But that is not happening. With the naked eye, anyone can say Ken River already barrage, it is not able to supply water to 2 lakh hectares for which the project has been designed. Then how can the Ken water will go to Betwa River, and from there they irrigate 10 lakh acres? And then how is that? Where is that Bundelkhand? Is it not cheating? How can UP officials and Madhya Pradesh officials be a party to this Jal Shakti Committee officials? And that too, overriding Supreme Court committee report, overriding Forest Act. And not only that, the Prime Minister, he has tweeted, I have shown you on the screen, about the tigers. What did he say in his tweet? Is it against going the Prime Minister only? That means this committee, tripartite committee, because it is going ahead, is it against the Prime Minister and his cabinet? And the subcommittee has passed. But is it against the will of the Prime Minister? Did you express no confidence motion? No confidence in Prime Minister's decision making? Are you making fun of his tweet of tigers, and then the Supreme Court Apex Committee report and the ground realities of Ken River barrage, how much it is accommodating now, and how can a small river like Ken be linked to Betwa, and when it is not even helping Bundelkhand, you are bypassing Bundelkhand to go to the more upper regions? Is it not cheating and fraud? Yes sir, Mishra ji, thoda Hindi mein bhi bataiye, thoda sa people are demanding just 5 minutes in Hindi. I think that will be much better addressed, and after that I'll have passing comment from Mr. Joy and Janakiran.
जैसा मैंने बताया कि कोई भी प्रोजेक्ट अगर कहीं भी देश में होना है तो वो वैधानिक होना चाहिए, वो लॉ के अनुसार होना चाहिए, वो लॉ के खिलाफ नहीं हो सकता है। अवैधानिक कोई भी काम नहीं हो सकता है। विडंबना ये है कि केन बेतवा लिंक प्रोजेक्ट जो है वो वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, वन्य प्राणी संरक्षण अधिनियम 1972 के खिलाफ है। उसकी 2 धाराएं, धारा 25, धारा 29 और धारा 35/6, इन दोनों धाराओं को वो वायलेट करता है। तो जब कोई प्रोजेक्ट वैधानिक ही नहीं है तो फिर उसके इम्प्लीमेंटेशन की बात कहां से आ सकती है? और क्योंकि ये प्रोजेक्ट वैधानिक नहीं है और क्योंकि गलत तरीके से इसको वाइल्ड लाइफ क्लियरेंस दिया गया, वाइल्ड लाइफ क्लियरेंस की बात इसलिए उठी क्योंकि इसका जो डैम है वो पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व के बिल्कुल पेट में बनाया जाना है। इस डैम के बनने से जो रिजर्वायर बनेगा, जो झील बनेगी, वो पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व को एक तरह से बर्बाद कर देगी, दो टुकड़ों में बांट देगी, क्योंकि जो क्षेत्र झील में जाएगा वो टाइगर के लिए पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व में सबसे उपयुक्त, सबसे बेनिफिशियल टाइगर के लिए वो एरिया है जो कि डूब जाएगा। तो पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व बर्बाद हो जाएगा। क्योंकि ये प्रोजेक्ट, ये डैम पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व को बर्बाद करने की स्थिति में है, इसलिए ये सेक्शन 35(6) को वायलेट करता है, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट। और इसलिए नेशनल बोर्ड ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ इसको कभी भी क्लियरेंस नहीं दे सकता था वैधानिक तरीके, पर उन्होंने किसी भी तरीके से इसको क्लियरेंस दिया। जब उन्होंने क्लियरेंस दिया तो फिर कुछ लोग सुप्रीम कोर्ट गए उसके खिलाफ। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की एक कमेटी है, सेंट्रल एम्पावर्ड कमेटी, उसने इस पूरे केस को पूरा छानबीन की, साइट पर गए, लोगों से बात की, सब लोगों से बात की, और फिर उन्होंने अपनी एक रिपोर्ट सुप्रीम कोर्ट को 30 अगस्त 2019 को प्रस्तुत की, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि ये बात सही है, ये प्रोजेक्ट पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व को बर्बाद कर देगा और ये प्रोजेक्ट वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट, वन्य प्राणी संरक्षण अधिनियम के सेक्शन 35(6) और सेक्शन 29 को वायलेट करता है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ये केस अभी भी लंबित है। सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उस रिपोर्ट के ऊपर अभी कोई भी अपना मत नहीं किया है। तो जो केस अभी लंबित है सुप्रीम कोर्ट में, जो साफ साफ दिख रहा है कि अवैधानिक है, उसको किस प्रकार से इम्प्लीमेंट करने की कार्रवाई हो सकती है। हमारा ये मानना है कि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री मध्य प्रदेश, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री उत्तर प्रदेश, इनको सरकारी अधिकारियों ने धोखे में रखा है। इनको सही बात नहीं बताई गई कि इस केस का वाइल्ड लाइफ क्लियरेंस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में लंबित है, इस केस का पर्यावरणीय स्वीकृति एनजीटी में लंबित है, इस केस का फॉरेस्ट क्लियरेंस वो भी अभी पूरा नहीं हुआ है। तो जो प्रोजेक्ट अभी इस स्टेज में है अपने प्लानिंग के, जिसमें कि उसकी इतनी सारी चीजें लंबित हैं, उसको किस प्रकार से माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी और उनकी कैबिनेट कमेटी एक पॉलिटिकल क्लियरेंस दे सकते हैं? क्योंकि पॉलिटिकल क्लियरेंस लीगल प्रोजेक्ट को कैसे हो सकता है? जो लोग कानून बनाते हैं वो कानून को कैसे उसकी चीचा लेदर कर सकते हैं? ये तो हमारी समझ में नहीं आता है। तो इसलिए माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को एक अंधेरे में रखा गया है, उनको धोखे में रखा गया है, उनको सही बात नहीं बताई गई है, और उनको धोखे में रख के कुछ लोगों ने जिनके अपने कोई वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट होंगे, उन्होंने इस प्रोजेक्ट का क्लियरेंस ले लिया, इस प्रोजेक्ट को बजट में एलोकेशन भी ले लिया, और अब एक स्पेशल एम्पावर्ड एसपीवी भी बना दिया, जिसका कि इन्होंने अभी दिखाया था। तो हमारा ये रिक्वेस्ट है, कृपया ये प्रोजेक्ट बहुत कंट्रोवर्शियल है, हम ये रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि कृपया एक स्वतंत्र एक्सपर्ट कमेटी कायम करिए, उसमें सब एक्सपर्ट लोग रहें और वो अपने काम इस तरह से करे, बिल्कुल ट्रांसपेरेंट तरीके से करे सबको मालूम पड़े कि वो क्या कर रहे हैं, कैसे कर रहे हैं, किससे मिल रहे हैं, और उनकी रिपोर्ट फिर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी को, माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट को दी जाए, और फिर उस पर माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी, बाकी लोग फाइनल डिसीजन लें फुली इन्फॉर्म तरीके से। माननीय सुप्रीम कोर्ट उसको देखे कि ये लीगल है कि नहीं, उसके बाद ही इस पर आगे कोई कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। ये हमारी विनती है।
केन के बारे में बात करिए। केन के ऊपर जो डैम है, क्या
फिर
सही वो पानी वो
देखिए, अभी क्या है कि ये कहते हैं कि हम केन नदी से पानी निकालेंगे और बेतवा नदी में देंगे। ठीक है, तथ्य ये है कि केन नदी बेतवा नदी के कंपैरिजन में एक छोटी नदी, उसका बेसिन बेतवा नदी से छोटा बेसिन है। तो कैसे एक छोटी नदी के पास बड़ी नदी को देने के लिए एक्स्ट्रा पानी हो सकता है? ये प्रश्न हमको आज तक किसी ने भी जवाब नहीं दिया। सब कहते हैं है। अरे कहां से है ये बताइए, क्योंकि हम बताते हैं केन के ऊपर एक बरियारपुर जगह में एक बांध बना हुआ है, और जब वो बांध बनाया गया था, बहुत पहले बनाया था, वो अंग्रेजों के टाइम पर बना था। जब वो बांध बनाया गया था, उस समय ये निर्धारित हुआ था कि वो बांध 2,20,000 हेक्टेयर को सिंचित करेगा, पर आज तक उस बांध ने 88,000 हेक्टेयर से ज्यादा कभी भी सिंचाई नहीं कर पाया है, क्योंकि केन में पानी है ही नहीं। केन में उतना पानी है ही नहीं, क्योंकि ये जो प्रोजेक्ट, इरिगेशन प्रोजेक्ट नॉर्मली जब बनते हैं तो ये देखा गया है कि उसको ये बहुत बढ़ा चढ़ा कर करते हैं कि हम इतने हजार, इतने लाख हेक्टेयर में सिंचाई करेंगे। जब बांध बन जाता है, जब नहरें बन जाती हैं, पाया ये जाता है उतना पानी था ही नहीं। यही तथ्य केन नदी का है। जब बरियारपुर अपना कमांड को फुलफिल आज तक नहीं कर पाया, तो ये 77 मीटर ऊंचा, 1.5 किलोमीटर लंबा, 90 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर के ऊपर फैला हुआ ये रिजर्वायर कहां से वो पानी लाएगा? ये बहुत बड़ा प्रश्न है, जो कि केन नदी के हाइड्रोलॉजी के ऊपर क्वेश्चन मार्क रेज करता है, जिसके ऊपर आज तक ढंग से कोई जवाब नहीं दिए गए। 4-5 बार केन नदी के हाइड्रोलॉजी के ऊपर स्टडीज हुए हैं, और चारों पांचों बार अलग अलग फिगर आई। कोई कहता है इतना एमसीएम है, कोई कहता है इतना एमसीएम है, कोई कहता है इतना एमसीएम। कितना एमसीएम वाकई है भाई? तो जब यूपी और एमपी ने पानी बांटा है, कौन से पानी को बांटा है यही नहीं मालूम कि किस पानी के ऊपर उनका ये एग्रीमेंट हुआ है, क्योंकि वो पानी नदी में है भी कि नहीं है। क्योंकि आप अगर केन नदी के पास जाएं और उन लोगों से बात करिए जो केन नदी के किनारे रहते हैं, हर साल केन नदी सूख जाती है। केन नदी में सिर्फ पॉन्ड्स रह जाते हैं। केन नदी इज नॉट ए पेरेनियल रिवर। बट ये भी सही है कि केन नदी आज उन कुछ बची हुई नदियों में से है इस देश में, जो आज भी इतनी स्वच्छ है कि आप सीधे उसका पानी उठा के पी सकते हो। इतनी बढ़िया छोटी प्यारी सी नदी को हम क्यों लालच में आके बर्बाद करना चाहते हैं? हम इस नदी को बर्बाद करना चाहते हैं, हम पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व को बर्बाद करना चाहते हैं, जिसके की हालत आज से 10-15 साल पहले बहुत खराब हो गई थी, हम सब जानते हैं। और कड़ी मेहनत के बाद पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व में पुनः टाइगर स्थापित हुए और आज बहुत अच्छी स्थिति में है। पन्ना टाइगर रिजर्व आज देश के एक बढ़िया टाइगर रिजर्व में से एक है। हम क्यों उसको डुबाना चाह रहे हैं? हम क्यों उसको बर्बाद करना चाह रहे हैं? ये कौन लोग हैं जो ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट के पीछे? जबकि वास्तविकता ये है कि इस प्रोजेक्ट से बुंदेलखंड को कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला। इस प्रोजेक्ट से फायदा होगा जो डैम विदिशा और रायसेन और भोपाल में बनाए जाएंगे, जो कि बुंदेलखंड में नहीं है। ये अपर बेतवा एरिया में, ये सब्स्टिट्यूशन प्रोजेक्ट है। पानी केन से निकाला जाएगा, बेतवा में डाला जाएगा, इसलिए जिससे कि ऊपर बेतवा में बांध बनाए जा। ऐसे प्रोजेक्ट से जिससे बुंदेलखंड को कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला, जबकि बात ये हो रही है कि बुंदेलखंड पानी पानी हो जाए। ये तथ्य, ये सही बात नहीं है, बट इसका एक ऑल्टरनेटिव जो कि वाकई बुंदेलखंड को पानी पानी कर सकता है। इस प्रोजेक्ट को आज की डेट में इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए 44,600 करोड़ का एलोकेशन, जब तक ये 10-15 साल में पूरा होगा तब तक ये इस पर जो खर्चा होगा वो 1 लाख करोड़ एक्सेस हो जाएगा। एक तरफ बात है 1 लाख करोड़ खर्च करने की, दूसरी तरफ बात है मात्र 2,000 या 3,000 करोड़ खर्च करने। अगर हम मात्र 2,000 या 3,000 करोड़ रुपए खर्च करें तो चंदेलों ने और बुंदेलों ने जो हजारों टैंक बुंदेलखंड में बनाए हुए हैं, जो कि आज सब के सब डिसयूज में है, जो आज बर्बाद हो गए हैं, उन सब का रेस्टोरेशन हो सकता है, उन सब की पुनर्स्थापना हो सकती है और फिर वाकई बुंदेलखंड पानी पानी हो सकता है। बुंदेलखंड एरिया में पानी की कमी नहीं है, बारिश तो आपके पास 1,000-1,100 मिलीमीटर हर साल होती ही है, पानी की कमी नहीं है। अगर पानी की कमी होती तो चंदेला और बुंदेला हजारों टैंक नहीं बनाते। क्यों वो टैंक बनाए उन्होंने? बुंदेलखंड का जो पानी की समस्या का निदान है वो उन टैंक को दोबारा पुनर्स्थापित करना है, ना कि 1 लाख करोड़ पर एक बड़ा बांध बनाना, जिससे कि बुंदेलखंड को कोई फायदा नहीं होने वाला।
फायदेमंद तो वो होंगे जो एग्रीकल्चर फाइनेंस कॉर्पोरेशन लिमिटेड के तहत कौन से ये बैंक है जिसने ये क्लियरेंस की दावा की, इनको बाहर लाना होगा। प्रधानमंत्री जी, यूपी और 5-4 अन्य राष्ट्र में चुनाव जा रहे हैं, अविनीति की आप बात करते हैं, भ्रष्टाचार की आप बात करते हैं, तो ये भ्रष्टाचार हो या नहीं? तो इसीलिए हम ये चाहते हैं कि आप इसके ऊपर एक उच्चतम कमिटी की नियमित कीजिए, क्योंकि ये जो बैंक्स कौन है, ये बैंक्स के द्वारा कौन से कॉन्ट्रैक्टर्स और किसको फायदा होने वाली है। हम यही चाहते हैं कि ये शो के द्वारा उत्तर प्रदेश के लोग, आप वोटिंग कर रहे हैं, आप हर एक राजनीतिक दल को आप प्रश्न कीजिए, क्योंकि ये सब आपका पैसा, हमारा पैसा, ये हम सबका पैसा है। कल के दिन हमको गिरवी रखकर ये लोग लोन्स लाएंगे, लेकिन जब इसका फायदा ही नहीं है, बुंदेलखंड केवल 2,000 या 3,000 करोड़ों में पूरे टैंक्स में पानी आ जाएगा, जब ये 15 साल में बढ़कर 1 लाख करोड़ होगा। यह जरूरत है, वो भी किस तरह? हाउ? बाय फिनिशिंग कैन रिवर। इट इज नॉट सफिशिंग टू द डैम fullest level there. It is not in a position to irrigate 2,20,000 hectares, the maximum limit of Ken River. Only 95 it has done 88,000. Then why do you need from there is no water? How is that you are going to link and destroy the tiger reserve, the biodiversity, rich biodiversity? Bundelkhand can have water with just 2,000, 3,000 crores investment. Is it not fraud? Is it not corruption by these officials? Honorable Prime Minister, Honorable Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, Honorable Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, are they kept in dark? That is what this show is exposing now. Parliament is in session because no political party is speaking. If you don't speak, I want people of Uttar Pradesh start questioning everyone. Likewise, people of Madhya Pradesh start, otherwise they will take loans and we have to pay. Every head has to pay. It is a national project. Even I will be forced to pay. So before I say bye, Mr. Janaki Raj, to your left you have Kaveri dispute, to the right you have Periyar dispute. Now they are linking without solving the river disputes. How the hell is it not making fun of the innocence of people? Just switch this on, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I was saying that there cannot be any better articulation than what Manoj ji has just explained. It's a brilliant sort of articulation, and when you got everything, I just wanted to make two issues here, 2 points. This river linking, from Ken to Betwa is actually very, very unusual, which you never heard of, from smaller river to the larger river, bigger river. And the second issue that I would like to flag off here is you generally link river with a view to taking the surplus water from one river to the another. Okay, my question here is, does Ken river has got any surplus water? And who determined and who estimated that surplus? And whose surplus was it? I think that is again a very intriguing question, which I really don't understand. And thirdly, I will join with Manoj ji in saying that Honorable Prime Minister should have a rethink on this project for one simple reason, that a tiger reserve is a tiger reserve. Do you know what is a tiger reserve? A tiger reserve is a designated tiger reserve is one where there is at least 100 square kilometers of a dense forest. If there is no dense forest, a tiger will not live. That will not be the habitation for the tiger. So are you going to destroy the dense forest? And how many years, how many centuries is it going to take for you to create that kind of a dense forest? So it is worth several, I don't know how many lakh crores. You can create these kinds of dams in anywhere, but I tell you, even with the lakhs of crores of rupees, you cannot create this kind of a dense forest, because these dense forests were created over thousand millennia. It's not happened overnight. It happened 100 years. It happened over several millennia. So which means we are going to once and for all destroy the tiger reserve, which is unfortunate. If this comes through, I would say it's a very, very unfortunate. I would really like the Prime Minister to have a rethink on this. I don't want him to dismiss this as the representation by environmental activists. We are not environmental activists. We are not activists who speak about the extremism. No, no. We are not doing that at all. We are all academics. We are genuine researchers. We have interest in the sustainable development. We have interest in the future generations. As you said, we have great interest in protection of the biodiversity. We are already facing the biodiversity crisis in the country, and the climate change is just around the corner. With this destruction of the dense forest, it's going to really affect very badly the livelihoods of not only people but also the wildlife.
Wonderful. Mr. Joy, before we wind up.
Yeah, I mean, all the things what is to be said on this project is already being said very well. So I have nothing much fresh to add to it. I think on behalf of the Forum for Policy Dialogue on Water Conflicts in the country, which is a network of various institutions, organizations, individuals, academics, activists, and type of people, we have taken a considered view on this project, which was very well articulated by my colleague Manoj Mishra. So the first and foremost is that the entire governance or the environmental governance related steps to be completed before you make a financial allocation, that has not been completed in this project. The case is still pending in the Supreme Court, which is the highest judicial body we have. So there are two things which we are demanding. One, the Honorable Prime Minister should take an enlightened view of the situation, saying that he's the leader of the legislative as well as the executive of this country. He should take a considered view, saying that we need to see that all the various legal and governance process to be completed before you get into it. Otherwise, this can set a very bad precedent in the country. Second, the Supreme Court also can take a suo moto type of thing, saying that the case is still pending. Very substantive issues are pending. So how can an executive make financial provisions for a project which is still contested in the court? So I think there are issues of that type. Even the enlightened court can take a stand of that, and we would actually request the court through this saying that they could take a suo motu case and hold the executive, responsible for this type of a illegal action, what they're doing. Of course, the review should be done, and that will also give us a space to articulate, as Manoj said, the different types of alternatives, which is cheaper, faster, environmentally and socially much more just, can be thought about. And the people of this country, the people of Bundelkhand, of that region, should have a decisive say in what their future should be, what type of water security they want to create. So this is what we are trying to articulate, and we would also explore other possibilities how we can force this issue on the government. So thank you very much on behalf of the Water Conference Forum and all of us here for picking on this important issue for your discussion today.
It is very important. It is very important because linking of rivers without resolving the rivers issues, without assigning allotted waters and their projects and their usage, without defining that, you are trying to link rivers. As we have been fighting here, Krishna and Godavari, I am the sufferer on the Krishna basin. My water is taken away to someone else, and due to vested commercial interests, they want to enlarge, link, and projects and loot, because there is no transparency and accountability. Mr. Prime Minister, your own BJP chief, Mr. Nadda, he came and he said 40,000 crores fraud has taken place in Godavari lift irrigation scheme. He said it is nothing but Kaleshwaram project. Now it has become a picnic spot for people to go there and see how they are lifting. They're showing that those machines without any transparency. Palamur Rangareddy lift irrigation scheme, how BHL and others were allowed to procure. But unfortunately and surprisingly, how foreign companies came into play in Kaleshwaram lift irrigation scheme, only God knows. So your own party president has made sweeping remarks against the chief minister here. Did you investigate that, or is it just only for political remark? If it is a political remark, don't you think action needed to be taken against such wild allegations? If it is true, where is the inquiry? And even after the 2019, 2020, 2020 income tax rates were held, and it has clearly come out stating that the companies, so-called companies, whether it is Kaleshwaram or Palamur Rangareddy or otherwise, were indulging in all illegalities. Why it has not gone to enforcement directorate? Further case was not gone. Having such cases pending, now you are talking about linking of rivers. How judiciously correct it is. And that too, the Ken river, which doesn't have water, which is not even catering to the fullest level of irrigation needs or water needs, whatever of that region, how are you trying to link it to another big river? And that too, when the case is still in Supreme Court, is it not contempt? Is it not violation? How can a cabinet subcommittee who take oath on the Constitution of India, they violate letter and spirit the very Constitution? Is it not contempt of Supreme Court? It has sent an apex committee. They were on the ground, they interacted with people, and they gave a report. And still the case is in pendency in Supreme Court. How can a cabinet subcommittee clear it? What is this? Are we living in a people participatory constitutional democracy or anarchy? Parliament, budget parliament is in session. Is it not a gross violation? Is it not mocking our own constitution? How can Supreme Court be silent spectator to this? We demand from this quorum that Supreme Court initiate measures for suo motu taking up this project. And who are those commercial banks? And who are those on those banks? Are they not retired NABARD or other officials? What knowledge they have got? It should go to the basic root of those who have proposed this linkage at the cost of the suffering of the Ken River Basin people. And Bundelkhand, is it really Bundelkhand going to be inundated with water? We have presented the scientific views. We demand for a discussion. We are challenging you. Come out, we will discuss. Jal Shakti Department secretaries, come out, we will discuss. Similarly, Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh, come out, we'll discuss, because we are in a democracy. Let us discuss, debate, decide what is good for the people, what is good for the country. Is it not against the Wildlife Act? You are killing the Panna Tiger Reserve. Our Honorable Prime Minister, he tweeted to protect those reserves, tiger reserves. That means this cabinet subcommittee has expressed no confidence in the Prime Minister itself. And this cabinet subcommittee has gone against the Supreme Court itself. Is it not contempt? And how can the finance department get this thing into their budgetary propositions, making mockery of our own parliament budget session? Such a huge thing with 2,000, 3,000 crores, the entire Bundelkhand can have plenty of water, as being pointed out by them. Then where is the necessity of investing 44,000 crores? This is the biggest scam of this area. Now people in Uttar Pradesh should start questioning all these political parties. Why these political parties not speaking? I'm naming all the political parties. Such a big scam by underrated officials. Our chief ministers of both states kept in dark. They have to come out clean now. Tomorrow, if you go to address a meeting in the electoral meeting, you have to address. Otherwise, you have seen a truck driver. They're speaking our language, our channel language for last 2 years. Science, truth, and freedom. When a truckers can do that, with due respects to them, they are trying to save the democracy, the spirit of the democracy. You think people in Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh will keep quiet? It is our money. The money should be spent judiciously. And who are those commercial banks who have went for this clearance? They should be exposed. Who are these officials? Did they do study on Ken River water? What should I say? The flood water or excess water? Before planning for linking to Betwa, what about Penna Tiger Reserve? You have wildlife clearances, contempt of Supreme Court. And originally, Ken River, when it doesn't have water to irrigate its maximum capacity, then in the name of Bundelkhand, where Bundelkhand is not going to get any water, then in whose benefit this project is? You have to come out clean on the floor of Parliament. Otherwise, people will not leave any political party, mind you. No one will be left alone. And we are here, we are inviting every Secretary of Jal Shakti to Madhya Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh. I have even given you my number. I'll call all these wonderful guests, because we speak science, we speak logic, we speak constitution, and we uphold rule of law with evidence. That is what this show is all about. If you are wrong, you have every right to correct us. I have released the flyer 24 hours before, stating on which topic we are discussing with my mobile number and all, because all of principles of natural justice. Anyone can join this platform. You can discuss, but with evidences. Adhering to constitution and letter and spirit, you should uphold the rule of law of land, thereby the most important aspect of administration, accountability with transparency. Otherwise, we are going to do this live shows till this project is abandoned once for all. And who are those minds behind this? They should be punished. And even the amount spent for whatever it is, environment impact assessment or what, that should be recovered from these who have been behind this. And I only hope Supreme Court tomorrow itself, it will suo moto take this. Otherwise, people will start losing last pillar in democracy, that is judiciary. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you. Yeah.
I hope this issue should become an election issue in Uttar Pradesh. I hope all the parties are listening.
Thank you very much. See you. Yeah, I'll drop out.
Take care, sir. Take care. And this will be telecasted on Environment People Dr. TSPR channel. Next week, I will announce the date and time on Environment People Dr. TSPR channel. Do support Dr. TSPR channels in larger public interest. For all Indians, we say Sukha Nidra Shubharatri. For the world over, good afternoon, good morning, and good evening.